Hi everyone, this is Judy at Peanut Book Company. I'm going to do a flip through of my latest book and I hope you guys enjoy it. It's a 1956 book, 18th Century Poetry and Prose. It was in excellent condition. I didn't want to do anything extra to the cover because it was just so pretty. This linen-like cover is just amazing for how old it is. It is 9 1/4 inches high by 6 inches wide, 2 inches deep, 7 signatures, 128 pages if you count one side. If you count both sides, it's about 256. It has a hidden spine. And let's get started. I have a simple tie ribbon closure for it. I have a little dangle on each signature. And these dangles came from a really old bracelet that I had. I deconstructed it and used it for charms. Okay, let's open her up. I have a folder on one side, and here's a little journal card I made out of a paint chip card. Lots of good writing space. And let's go through the first signature. Little dangle there. Just another little journaling card. There's lots of writing space in this book and quite a few pockets to put things. This right here is, I took some sheer fabric that I had, several pieces of it. Hang on, let me reach over and get it. Forgot to bring it over here. And I took this fabric and I ran it on my copier and it came out so nice. So I thought I'd put that in the journal as kind of like a feature page, something pretty to look at. Lots of writing room. Lots of floral designs throughout the whole book. Here's a little tuck spot right here. I mention this in almost all my videos, how much I love paper of all kinds. So my thing is I like to incorporate as many different types of writing paper in here as I can. This is a little pretty scenery card that I had. This is 2 pockets right here. This is the back side of this pretty scenery, and I glued a real pretty napkin on it. Really pops with all those florals. There's a little tuck spot right here. If you hear this humming sound in the background, I'm in my studio and I have a room conditioner is what it's called, because it heats and it cools and it keeps this room temperature controlled, but it's a little bit noisy. So I took some book pages out of this particular book and I made these little pockets, and as you can see, this is the same piece of sheer fabric that I had made the copy of right there, but this is the actual fabric, and I adhered it to some contact paper, the clear kind, and sewed around the edges, and it makes a durable little bag. And then I made a heart and used the same fabric in this. Just a little something to put some special mementos in. And another little dangle here. This is just a pretty card that I had. I made it into journaling space. There's quite a few little pretty feature pages that have the floral theme to it throughout the book. This children's writing paper I found at a thrift store a while back, and it was really old. You could tell it was, I'm not sure how old it was, but you could tell by the packaging that I had gotten it in. It was pretty old. This is a little paper bag that you can stuff some things in, and then a little pocket on the front that had been sewn. I actually got this in some Happy Mail one time, and a little card right here. Oops. And a journaling card. I think this is German, but I'm not 100% sure. Some more paper, more pretty florals. Here's a little pocket right here that I forgot to put something in, but it's a nice little pocket right there. Another pocket right here. Here's the other side of the bag. A little envelope and a little journaling card in there. Lots of lovely paper. This little bookmark that I made using a paper clip. I used, I sewed this cotton lace onto little strips of paper and then adhered it to the edges of each signature along with a little dangle for each one. There's a pocket here, and I was playing around with some collaging one day and decided to make this little envelope, and it just has a little sheet of paper in it that you can write on. Little cluster right there. I thought it came out pretty good. Very rustic, but good. This is another piece of fabric that I had. Let's see if I can find it. The only thing about this one was I really wanted the green color to come out in the copy that I made, but it didn't come out, but that's okay. It's still very unique and quite pretty. Little square doily there. Little tuck spot. Lots of writing spaces. Another tuck spot right here. The other side of that fabric copy. And then I did the same thing as with the other one. I made a little pocket using the actual fabric and contact paper. These just came out so nice. I got crazy when I started making them, and I went crazy. That's what I meant to say. Because it's so easy to make them. And a pretty floral tag and writing space. Some more writing space. This is a pocket that I made out of a floral book that I had. Put some little brads around it. Just a couple of old pieces of paper. And then inside of this is an envelope. You can write on this side. And I made another journaling card. I love this paper. It's really cool. Put a little piece of fine ribbon on there. The center of this one is just bright and colorful. I adhered a napkin onto some information. I believe this was from a map book, what's behind the napkin. This was the other side of the envelope, and I just did a little funky little setup here with a pocket and a tiny notebook. Another pocket there. This was another piece of fabric, sheer fabric, that I made copies of. One of the reasons why I made copies of some of this fabric is I'm actually down to very little. I've had these sheer fabrics for a long time and used them for all kinds of different projects, and I figured since I love them so much I would go ahead and make some copies of them so I could keep them forever. There's a pocket right here. This ledger paper, this is the last piece of ledger paper that I found, and I believe I was told it was 30 years old, 30-year-old paper, and that's the last piece. The other ledger paper that I've got is more recent, and this has got a little journaling card in this cute little pocket right here. And then I've got the world's smallest notebook. I'm calling it the world's smallest. Somebody will probably go out and make one a lot smaller than that. Oh, and this is old typing paper, by the way. Another pocket. This is the other side of that pretty fabric copy. And then I did the same thing. I took the actual fabric and made an envelope to store things in. Another pocket. Some more botanical. Put some napkin on the back of this page and made a pocket for that. This is a another little bag with a journaling card in it. And the funny thing about this seed packet, I had gotten a bunch of vintage seed packets from somewhere, and when I saw this, it said tomato and then it said yellow pear. I thought it was a misprint, and so I looked it up and found out there is a type of tomato called yellow pear. Fun to know. I did not know that. One of my favorite pieces in the whole book. I got this from an art book. It was a how to watercolor book, and the lady that put this book out, she does samples of her work all throughout the book. It's just so beautiful. And I put paper on the backs of the spread there for writing. Another seed packet on the back of that in a little pocket. Another pocket here. More pretty botanicals. Another pocket. I put a little notebook I made out of scraps. If I could turn my camera, I'd show you my my scrap box. It's huge. Probably about a year ago, I sat down one day with the scrap box and just started making all kinds of things at random, and I really enjoyed it. But a year has gone by and there's more scraps than ever. But I thought I would put that in there. Nice. And this is another piece of fabric that I copied. This is probably one of my favorites. Just gorgeous. The copy actually came out really well. Pretty paper, little card. I included a lot of florals in this book. A lot. Here's a card. So pretty. And I made another envelope using the actual fabric and the contact paper and the book page from this book. And then on the back end of it, there's another little file folder pocket and an inventory tag in there. And then I've made these for, I think, all of my hardback journals so far. A pencil board. This one I did a little bit different. I put the front page from the actual book onto the card, Put some book corners on there to make it look fancy. And then on the back, I made a little slip pocket. Doesn't hold a lot of stuff, but it will hold a few sheets of paper. And then I had some more vintage paper here that I decided to include with it. But kind of a dual purpose pencil board. And what you do with this is, okay, here's a good example. Let's say I wanted to write on this piece of paper. And if you start writing on it, you might hit the bumps that's in the page previous. All you do is put the board on there, and you've got a smooth writing surface. So, there you go. That stays in the back of the book. And all the cute little dangles on there. Ugh. Part of me wants to keep this book, but I have too many. Way too many. I'm sure a lot of you who make these books have that same problem. I get these ideas and I just go nuts. But anyway, there she is. I'll have this in my Etsy shop. And thank you for watching. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. I appreciate it. And I'll see you next time. Bye.